In an entertainment world filled with scripts and well-rehearsed acting, there are rare moments that feel so real that they blur the line between fiction and reality. That's what happened to Bai Jingting and Zhang Ruonan. Within the first 20 to 30 seconds, you immediately sense something different. Overly deep gazes, overly quick reactions, and gestures that seem more than professional. The camera may only capture a fraction of what's happening, but the energy emanating from their interactions is powerful. There are silences that speak, smiles that hold meaning, and subtle affections that are hard to ignore. All of this has fans starting to wonder, is this just acting, or something much more real? Since their first appearance together, the chemistry between Bai Jingting and Zhang Ruonan has been a hot topic of conversation. However, over time, public attention has shifted from mere acting to a deeper analysis of their every small movement. One of the most eye-catching moments was when Bai Jingting subconsciously adjusted Zhang Ruonan's position to be more comfortable in front of the camera. The movements were quick, subtle, and almost imperceptible, but that's precisely where their honesty lay. There was no script governing them. Bai Jingting's gaze was also often a highlight. There was an intensity that was hard to describe, as if he were truly immersed in Zhang Ruonan's presence. The gaze wasn't just an act, it felt personal, warm, and caring. Zhang Ruonan, on the other hand, seemed to respond equally naturally. Her smile often appeared at unexpected moments, especially when Bai Jingting was near her. Their interactions were lighthearted, yet held emotional depth. In several interviews, Bai Jingting appeared more protective than usual. He often made sure Zhang Ruonan was comfortable, even before the question was finished. This was not something ordinary colleagues would do. There were also behind-the-scenes moments that revealed a different side of their relationship. When the camera wasn't fully focused, Bai Jingting could be seen paying attention to small details, from Zhang Ruonan's facial expressions to her body language. What made it all even more captivating was how spontaneous it all seemed. There was nothing contrived or forced. It was precisely those small imperfections that made it all feel so real. Fans began piecing together the pieces of this moment, trying to piece together the bigger picture. Every video, every clip, every interaction became the subject of endless analysis. Some even suggested that Bai Jingting was subtly displaying his possessive side, not in a negative sense, but rather an intense attention and desire to always be near Zhang Ruonan. This was evident in how he often instinctively moved closer, as if to ensure she was always within reach. A small act with a profound meaning. Interestingly, Zhang Ruonan didn't seem bothered by this. On the contrary, she seemed comfortable, sometimes even reciprocating with equally warm gestures. Their interactions created a unique dynamic, a balance between attentiveness and freedom, between closeness and respect. It was a combination rarely seen, even in real relationships. It was no wonder that dating rumors began to emerge. The public sensed that there was something more than just a professional relationship between them. However, what made this all so captivating was the uncertainty itself. There was no confirmation, no explanation, just small moments that spoke louder than words. Every look, every smile, every light touch became evidence that was hard to ignore. And the more people noticed, the more speculation grew. Was this simply the result of incredible acting chemistry? Or were there genuine feelings growing behind the scenes? These questions may not have a definitive answer. But one thing is clear, what Bai Jingting and Zhang Ruonan displayed has managed to touch the hearts of many. And perhaps that is precisely where the beauty lies. A connection that remains undefined, yet feels so real. Over time, more and more moments emerged, reinforcing the narrative that had already formed in fans' minds. Even simple interactions like sharing a laugh or standing close together now took on a much deeper meaning. Everything felt like puzzle pieces slowly forming a complete picture. On several occasions, Bai Jingting seemed especially sensitive to subtle changes in Zhang Ruonan's expression. When the atmosphere became slightly awkward or tense, he quickly diffused it, whether with a lighthearted joke or a quick comment that restored the warmth. These spontaneous reactions were difficult to fake. Another striking aspect was how Bai Jingting seemed to always pay attention to small details that others often overlooked. From adjusting the microphone position to making sure Zhang Ruonan didn't feel left out in the conversation, all of this demonstrated a level of care that transcended that of a typical coworker. Zhang Ruonan herself displayed equally compelling responses. She seemed more open and expressive around Bai Jingting. There was a palpable sense of trust, as if she knew she was in a safe and comfortable space. Their interactions were often punctuated by moments of silence, which were the most powerful. There were no words, no grand gestures. Just the presence of each other was enough to convey so much. Moments like these are the hardest to explain, yet easiest to feel. Fans began to realize that this relationship had a developing dynamic. From what initially seemed like pure professionalism, it was now transforming into something more personal and emotional. This change was slow but consistent. Interestingly, the two never explicitly displayed anything over the top. There were no dramatic gestures or overt statements. It was precisely this simplicity that made everything feel more authentic and convincing. Speculation continued to grow, fueled by a curiosity that was never truly answered. Each new appearance was eagerly anticipated, as if the public hoped to discover more clues to this mysterious relationship. Ultimately, whether this was truly a budding romance or simply incredible on-screen chemistry may no longer be the most important thing. What was clear was that what they displayed had created a powerful emotional connection, not just between them, but with everyone who watched it. As time went on, public attention was no longer solely focused on big moments, but also on small details that might have previously been overlooked. The way Bai Jingting turned his head when he heard Zhang Ruonan's voice, or how he reflexively adjusted his steps to match hers, served as further evidence that reinforced the narrative that had already formed. There were also moments when the two seemed to understand each other without much need for words. It was as if they had developed their own language that only they could understand. This kind of closeness rarely emerges instantly, but rather grows from a comfort built over time. Some fans even began comparing their interactions to those of real-life couples, not because of the glitz or drama, but because of the simple, genuine warmth. It's the little things like these that most easily touch the heart. Behind all the spotlight and speculation, one thing was undeniable. Each other's presence seemed to have a positive influence on them. The energy they displayed together felt livelier, lighter, and more colorful than when they were alone. Nevertheless, the mystery remained part of their appeal. The lack of confirmation or clarification only further engaged the public, creating room for diverse interpretations. And that's where the power of this story lies. It lives through the perspective of each witness. Ultimately, whether this relationship will ever be fully revealed or remain a mystery, only time will tell. But for now, each moment captured on camera is enough to make many believe that what they're seeing isn't mere coincidence, but rather something that may be growing in the most organic way.